We're on the internet.
Hello.
I wasn't taking a screen cap.
Okay.
I was just going live.
Okay.
I don't know if what your decision of what face to make was dependent on the screen cap or not, or just in general.
Most of the time, I have a pretty good resting face, but when I say, "Oh, we're getting a screen cap," I sent y'all that photo that was taken at Peyton's aunt's 50th birthday party.
What?
Let's see if
The
I can find
the
it.
speakeasy photo.
Yeah.
Yes, I have that saved on my phone.
Which one is that?
Will you? Will, if you can find it before I can, will you send that in the group chat? Because it's the worst photo I think that's ever been taken of me in my entire life.
For some reason you're dressed like Arthur the Aardvark, which I think is the funniest part, and you also kind of look like him.
But the worst part is it appears that hold on, I'm gonna see if I can find it. My face is so red, and I
Yeah.
am just staring without any joy, life, vision, awareness, at nothing at all. And I'm just staring directly into the camera as I look like I'm about to hurl.
You look like you're about to get hit by a car. You look like
Yeah.
you're turning around at the last possible moment before a tank runs you over.
It's truly I am haunted by it. It's my SpongeBob extremely embarrassing photo at the Christmas party photo. In any case, I'm going to a wedding with that side of our family this weekend, and I am so conscious of my face and what I will be doing at all times because I do not want to repeat that photo.
Oh,
You're
but I
gonna turn
want you
the
to repeat that
RBF
photo.
RBF to resting beautiful face.
Resting berry
have
face.
Yeah.
Or just do what Dream did. Not the grooming part, but the put a mask on.
Also the grooming part.
Mask. I don't want to do that. Oh,
Sean, you have to. If you want to play Minecraft professionally.
I hadn't heard about this dream revelation, and
I
I'm good.
know nothing about him. Everything I know about this man's against my will. Besides, he looks like the troll face.
He looks fine, and that was the worst part about all this is he took the mask off and he looked like a guy. He just looked like
He's
a
just a
regular
guy.
guy, and everyone told him he was ugly. Things he did was very, very, very ugly, and he doesn't deserve to have the platform that he has. But I think his face is just fine.
Have you considered the fact
Just looks like him.
that had he started off with no mask, no one would tell him he's ugly? It's very funny to tell someone who's been behind a mask for 10 years, oh, by the way, you're ugly.
I guess it's on him for building that up.
Yeah, when you have an audience of seemingly, I don't know, mostly middle schoolers and young high schoolers, like, of course they're going to be like, yeah, let's fucking clown this guy.
It's not funny to make fun of someone who died at sea. It's very funny to make fun of someone who ignored every warning sign and went to visit the greatest disaster in sea history. It's a context thing.
Exactly. That I guess that we're going to get into it anyways, whether it was the news segment or not. But yeah,
It's going to be
the wreckage.
The first half of the show, probably.
Yeah.
This is episode.
Come all for your. Oh, go ahead.
And that show is episode 248, almost 250 of the Radish podcast. We are live on Twitch right now. You can come hang out with us if you're listening on the podcast player. Come hang out with us and look at our faces because you're really missing some dream adjacent mugs here. I got the keys this week. My name's Will, and I got the keys this week. That's also my fun fact about myself.
I am Sean, and I can't make that face, and I'm making what I'm thinking. I gotta be cool and collected at all times, visually and physically.
Yes.
So chat if you're out there.
Hyper aware. Every picture taken at the wedding, regardless of if it's from behind you or to the side, completely candid, you have to locate it and be looking at the camera, even if you wrench yourself all the way around in a pew.
Yeah.
and
this is the
looking
first
great.
time I'm going to be photographed in a tux, so I've really got to make an
Ooh.
impact.
Oh yeah. That's
Sean,
awesome.
I have a picture of you in a tux.
Like prom.
We went to prom.
I can. Oh, was that a
We didn't-
tux? That must.
We
have been
didn't know what
tux.
tuxes were then.
I d-
That doesn't mean it's not a
What's the
tux.
Fisher Price?
Oh, it's okay. I didn't know what it was.
I am dressed like Arthur.
I'm Tyler, and Will's only got the keys this week because he's the drunkest. That's generally what we decide before we get recording. Is who's the drunkest? Give him the keys.
That's how we decide who's going to drive the bus home.
Yeah, exactly.
Hold on, I
Oh.
just did a take a look at this, y'all. And
Sean just tried to post the picture in our group chat and ended up posting a grandma's desktop ass file extension instead.
Oh yeah, what's Stephen A. Smith over here?
God damn it!
Yeah, he
Hold
just
on.
posted the Yahoo toolbar.
Tyler. Wait, I can just send it to Tyler directly.
Just take a screenshot. No, I'm missing my copy of it. I looked for it and I couldn't find it. I searched on the little AI search thing. Sean dressed as Arthur and it couldn't find it.
It looks like, just like Peyton looks great, stunningly dressed, and it looks like I'm the creepy little man that like she has to take out for charity.
Yeah, you've got a.
There it is.
Is that not the case though? Oh, I've seen this picture.
Soon
Sean,
not to be.
Sean, you don't look as
Yeah.
bad as you think you do.
Tyler, look at the face I'm
That's
making.
not a
I look
bad
like a gremlin man.
Yeah, you have a very Rumpelstiltskin. It's giving Rumpelstiltskin.
I
No,
look like someone just opened the basement door.
you look healthy.
What is?
I've got red to my face.
there's some pigment. You look like you got all your teeth. You can jump up and down. That's what's
Yeah.
important.
You'd be a king in olden times. You have fine woven clothes.
Sean, like, it's not. See what I was
King
expecting.
several lines down in the single family tree.
You remember back in the two blue crabs era of Facebook, where there was that guy that had a friend that he kept editing like a red face.
Yes.
To the friend and posting it on Facebook.
yeah.
This is what I was expecting, Sean. Like your gut's not even hanging out. You're very well color coordinated.
There's no salsa
It
on your
helps-
shirt.
It helps. Yeah, no salsa on your shirt.
There might be. Visibly, there's not.
Your hair's
Spiritually.
on home. You're fine. You're doing better than 90% of guys who put up a picture of them after they've caught a fish. So I think you're good.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna be a
Sorry
counterpoint
to-
here. You both look bad.
Oh.
Someone's got to be.
Sorry,
Someone's got to play the heel.
Or go
apologies
chaotic evil and say, Sean, you look great. It's the person sitting next to you that's bringing you down.
Here's
I
the old
can't
ball
do
and
that.
chain holding your hand.
Apologies to listeners and viewers alike. You will never see the light of this photo. You will never see it.
It's gonna be the
Fine.
podcast
Okay.
cover.
Listeners, it's fine.
I just have to keep Will and Tyler happy for the rest of my life.
There is a
And you
picture
will
of
never see this
me
photo.
drunk out of my mind in Las Vegas being held up by Captain America, Batman, Mandalorian with Grogu, and I think someone else is there that looks 40 times worse than this picture with your very lovely fiance.
It's been my Discord banner for about a year, Tyler.
It's a great picture.
It is yeah.
You're also
You know
holding a
what?
margarita.
You know what? My belly's hanging out, and I have a weird face, and I'm obviously very drunk. I'm not worried about it.
I'm not worried about any of this.
It's my LinkedIn. It's my LinkedIn.
I gotta go with that energy to the wedding this weekend. Just, not worry about it.
Sean, after you get married, are you gonna start making jokes like I'd rather be driving a Titleist, or like better than beats fishing, or something like that? Are you gonna start making like Father's Day card jokes?
I was thinking about this the other day because we have two folks here that may or may not be taken by the end of the year, and I think Will might end up being the wife guy. Like I feel like Will out of the two of us seems like the least wife guy, but I think he puts up that facade. But I think now it's going to be fully
when you get in.
fully
That's immediately something clicks.
spray painting on his garage door. Don't talk to my wife.
Don't email my wife. Yeah, I mean, it's just because I'm overcompensating for years of not being a wife guy. Now that I'm betrothed, now I'm just like,
Now
oh
that
yeah,
now that you've
Yeah.
experienced, you've tasted of the fruit of
yeah. Now
cyclism.
I can't go back.
Okay.
I gotta keep eating this.
The first one was free.
What if we start? We might start getting hate mail from old listeners who have taken heed, taken to heart your comments about them, saying, "Hey, I told you so, man. Here's your card carrying wife guy card."
Look, okay, I can be a wife guy. I'm not gonna be a shrimp dad. I'm not gonna be bean dad.
I don't know.
There's
It's a slippery slope, man. I think you say that now. I think that's just the same people saying, "Oh, I only do coke on the weekends." You know that's not always going to be. The
yeah,
case.
I think loving your wife and starving your kids to teach them a lesson is not a slippery slope as it is just two separate things that you can have.
It's a square it's a square rectangle thing.
Okay. Everyone
Not
who
all
starves
wife
their
guys
kid
are
will.
shrimp dads. But all shrimp dads are wife guys.
God, we deserve the meteor.
We should give a discount to Ocean Gate for dads and wife guys.
Yeah.
Have y'all been following this Ocean Gate thing? I haven't found many news articles on it. No one's talking about this, so it was a little hard to. I had to dig it up on the dark web. Every headline. We'll get right into the news here. Every headline about the submarine at the Titanic should end with obviously. Like, if replace every headline with like the submarine imploded, obviously. It no, the fact that anyone considers this news or is surprised is the news.
I know you're joking, saying that it wasn't on the news. I am shocked at how my only thing on my Twitter timeline it was submarine jokes for the past few days, and the only thing being covered on the mainstream news to the point where I don't know if it was CNN or MSNBC, maybe it was Fox News, was running a ticker saying this is how much air that they got left, and I'm thinking to myself, Jesus Christ, this is
Like it's the New Year's
almost
ball.
as bad as it's almost as bad as when CNN ran the death count ticker for all of frickin' COVID. It's like,
That's
come on,
right.
guys, come on.
I saw someone say that was a Tom Womskam's ass move, and it was.
Yeah, 100%. So it's definitely Fox News, but every single part of this story is wild. From what this thing is made out of, from who was in this thing, from the fact just an hour ago the Navy said, actually, yeah, we heard this on Sunday. It's
Yeah, why did Kermit the Frog give the PR announcement for the Navy?
I know, right? It's because they're a bunch of freaking Muppets over there, a bunch of freaking Muppets running the Navy. But
it brings a fascination. Like, I started searching. What I wanted to search was, I started searching what does a sub, and it already finished it off for me, and it said merciful implosion look like. Because I think everyone wants to know, like, what is it like once you're told that it implodes, and you have to imagine, 2 tons or several, that amount of water pressure crushing a vehicle that size to such a degree. Everyone's like, what does it look like? I have to know.
Like a big Capri Sun.
they're just all pieces at the bottom of the ocean at this point.
Yeah, it's just.
That's not the fun answer,
it
though.
is.
The fun answer is the fun answer is toothpaste. By the way, is how it looks. Is they come squirting out the top.
Ooh. The fun answer is that now every subsequent Titanic dive will have a 2-for-1 deal.
The Titanic racking up 5 more kills is like Michael Jordan coming out of retirement and playing one more game.
It's like, jeez, like, and like all like the news stories coming out, and like people like the CBS Sunday Morning piece where the journalist was like, "Yeah, we did lose communication for about 3 hours, but it was fine." And then you hear like the Simpsons showrunner who also had difficulty. Like it's
okay. What was wild about the Simpsons showrunner is he went on CNN probably every hour on Monday to run like he was shielding the Ocean Gate sub. Like he went on there and was like, "Yeah, honestly, It was the most relaxing ride I've ever been on. I fell asleep on the way to the bottom of the ocean.
You ran out
These
of air,
people,
probably.
They know what they were getting. They were all probably ready to die, and they all probably wanted it. Like he was, I think he was getting paid by Ocean Gate. It was just a little too weird to me.
I believe it. I mean, that's the thing though. If you have a good like, if a roller coaster kills someone, you're like, man, I had a blast on Velocicoaster. I don't know what these guys are talking about. So I kind of get that. Yeah. It's just. Go ahead.
What if Big Bird was on this? Famous
was.
survivor of the Challenger.
Almost
Well,
was.
And a Final
Here's the thing.
Destination ass move. Big Bird, having dodged death all this time, gets in Titan 2 or whatever it's called, and is toothpasted.
If
It is worth mentioning that the Big Bird of Titanic exploration was on this. Submersible. I think that was probably our greatest loss. The person that I think had been down to the Titanic more than anyone else on Earth was on this, and they sadly passed. But
James Cameron.
I guess that's what.
James Cameron.
No, not James Cameron. Not James Cameron.
The bravest pioneer.
You're talking about the CEO, the CEO of the company.
No.
Oh, you're
It
talking about
was-
that one explorer guy
The French, yeah. The
from
French
the Explorers Club,
No,
which I learned was a thing
that's
through this.
that's the British billionaire. We got
Oh
two
man, all of these people. I'm so sad for their loss.
more. Let's see if I can get the name.
Do international billionaires, what are they counted in? Because it's a lot easier to have a billion yen.
Oh, if you're like, I have £1 billion.
I would think U.S. dollars. I think that's the
Yeah.
That's very Anglo-centric of us, though. I don't know if I...
the world.
But I mean, that's like
Anglo-centric,
what the
for better or
world
worse
market's
right
operating.
now. Yeah.
All right. I'm just saying, I would be a billionaire in Japan. I would flaunt that around. Be like, I got $1 billion. I'd go somewhere where it was really easy to be a billionaire.
I like the idea that Big Bird could have been on this. If Big Bird was on this, do you think that the Sesame Street PR team would have to tweet out, Big Bird actually swam up. He's okay. Like,
Well, it's the same with the
can't not
Challenger.
have Yeah, but he didn't die in the Challenger. He could have died in Ocean Gate. If he died in Ocean Gate,
They can use the photo they had drafted for the Challenger disaster, but again for Ocean Gate, where it's just the Big Bird costume laying in a body of water.
Challenger makes more sense because Big Bird's a bird. If it exploded, he could fly away. Underwater, it's going to take a lot more convincing. Children aren't that dumb.
Well, some birds can swim. Penguins can't fly. Excellent swimmers.
Big
That's
Bird
true.
was not a penguin.
Can avoid a leopard seal.
Trying to think of the Sesame Street Muppet most likely to swim.
It's Grover.
Which Sesame Street character would be most likely to survive the implosion?
Oscar the Grouch.
I think Beaker. I think Beaker's been through worse.
But Oscar the Grouch is already in a pressure vessel.
That's fair
That's
too.
true. Oscar's already in his own Titan.
Have y'all seen the theory that all the Oscar the Grouches are connected underground? And each one's a
Rat
different...
King.
Yeah, each one's like a different finger on the hand.
I guess a Rat King would
What?
imply that they all accidentally got tangled.
Yeah, Oscar the Grouch is one being who pops up around in trash cans around the world, and the main body is at the center of the earth, and it's just tendrils coming up, and he is in all of those locations at once, like
Oh,
Diglett.
Kind of comforting.
Yeah.
Omniscient Oscar the Grouch.
Let's see what other fun news do we got? Conor McGregor doesn't know how costumes work.
That was bad. I mean, it was hilarious, but that was bad. The first punch looked fine. Like I was like, oh, that's funny, Conor McGregor punching a guy. And you tell me, Will, you've been in an actual mascot costume before.
Yes.
Would a punch hurt?
Yes.
Like anyone, if I ran up and punched you in the face, would it hurt?
I'm here to say it would.
Okay, so Conor McGregor, it definitely would hurt a lot more. And
He
then
also didn't have a
the going on the
mascot suit.
ground.
He basically had a wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube man on. He had like a mylar.
The face looked a little more firm, but
He had like a mylar sheath on himself. Really, is what it was. And when he got hit, it was.
the hit was bad. The hit was like, you know what? That's part of the job. You sign up for it, you're gonna get punched by a boxer. It's
But he
okay.
wasn't supposed
You
to.
know what?
That wasn't part of the.
Hit, period.
No, they were supposed to like fake box. He had boxing gloves on, and Conor McGregor is like, "Oh, I'm supposed to box this
Bare
guy."
knuckle.
Deal, and is too stupid to know like he can't kayfabe it. So he just like, all right, and he threw a punch, and then like at no point in his brain was he like, "Oh, this is a man in a suit." He was just like,
well-
"Heat mascot. This is a
Yeah,
creature."
maybe he was scared in the moment. Maybe he thought it was a real thing. But
They scared
what I'm
him.
saying, what I want to say is the first punch, bad. I get it, but a little understandable. That feels like courtside shenanigans. When the guy was on the ground, Conor McGregor got on the ground and punched him again, his head into the ground. And I think that's where the line should be drawn. Like, I think that was the death blow that sent this guy to the freaking hospital.
Yeah.
I don't think we should excuse the first punch. I don't think any job requires you to get punched by Conor McGregor. This might be a hot take on this show. Other than UFC fighter.
Yeah.
If you worked at McDonald's and Conor McGregor was there for a promo, you wouldn't be like, "Well, he's gonna punch you." That's just how he is.
No, but I mean a silly, goofy mascot. I think I was less shocked at the first punch than I would be if he punched out a McDonald's worker. as funny as both are, actually. Now that I'm thinking about it.
I agree that it seems like they were trying to do a funny little bit with UFC or whatever the hell he is fighter with like the Heat mascot with boxing gloves. Like, ooh, they're gonna fight. But I don't think Conor
O'Malley.
Conor O'Malley, I
Conor
give a pass
O'Malley's
to punching
great.
out.
Yeah,
Punching out. a guy.
absolutely. But Conor McGregor, I don't think has a sense of humor in the slightest. So when he was like, I'm gonna punch him.
The sad fact about this is later that night, something even incomparably worse happened, and there were some accusations made about how he treated a woman. But I think that kind of probably has a play into it, into how he treated that unfortunate. I don't even know what the Heat mascot is.
It's humidity.
That's the fire character from the new Pixar movie Elemental, now in theaters.
Have y'all seen any good stuff this week?
I've started obsessing over a show that is almost a decade old that aired on Cartoon Network when I was like in that ripe age of like, I don't watch anything on Cartoon Network. Have y'all ever checked out Clarence?
Yeah.
I've heard of Clarence.
It is, and it has no right to be, one of the funniest and like most on-brand cartoons I have watched in a long time. It is fully ridiculous. It has a bunch of references to stuff I like. It kind of presents itself as a... No, it doesn't present itself, but it can be seen as a sort of young man kind of personality test in a way of like, which of the three main characters are you? Basically, Clarence is about this primarily this kid who is just enthusiastic, loves everything, has two great friends. They live in Arizona, kind of in like the lower middle class area of Arizona. But Clarence is a delightful child who has a friend named Jeff, who is modeled after Minecraft Steve. So he has a very square head, who is very proper, very particular. And then he has another friend named Sumo, who is just this little rat boy who just speaks with like a raspy voice like this. He's done by Tom Kenny, but it's just it breaches on absurdity, and it's kind of like a hangout time, like regular show. It's a little more grounded than regular show, but like the sort of like hijinks they get themselves into every 11-minute episode. It's surprisingly very fun. I blasted through the first season earlier this week when I was at home and I had a day to do nothing. I just I had Clarence on. I scrolled through Titan submersible TikTok.
It pairs well.
Exactly, it does. That'll be forever
It's
attached
got
to my mind. But
notes
yeah,
of Clarence.
yeah, it was one of the
But
shows that Max dropped when they were like, no one watches this on Max, and we're gonna get rid of it. It's still on Hulu. I think you can still find it elsewhere, but it's absolutely worth the time. It's just kind of like where Craig of the Creek is constructive and fun, and sadly canceled too soon.
Oh, really?
Clarence was also,
I didn't know that.
yeah. I think Craig has like a movie coming up, but that's it for Craig of the Creek, which is unfortunate.
Oh, that should rock.
But yeah, Clarence, I think ended in 2016 or 2018. I forget which. And it also, you know, it had a Justin Roiland situation happen where the showrunner ended up being a creep and they had to replace him. And they did perfectly fine. And it was even to the point where it was also similar to Justin Roiland. Everyone involved with the show was like, yeah, he didn't really help write the episodes. He just kind of voiced the main character. And once they got that replaced, the show was great.
That is the one thing that I've heard about Clarence, which I was concerned about. So I'm happy to hear that it was a Justin Roiland situation where like, get the fuck out of here.
It was like, sure that it's still Skylar Page's like, I think he still gets the creative by credit, obviously, but the show itself, it doesn't really have any of those tendencies, and it's very
every
fun,
other person who worked on that show is a fantastic person and should support the show
as far as we know.
regardless.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a really fun time. It's a really sweet, funny show. A lot of great references. I spotted an American Psycho reference, Talking Heads. There's just so much that you discover each episode, and it's just a really fun time. It's like everyone called Flapjack, Cartoon Network's answer to SpongeBob. It's more so Clarence.
I could see that. I remember in college waking up because I'd fall asleep like to Adult Swim, and Cartoon Network would be on in the morning. And I've seen some Clarences. He's a very endearing boy.
Very endearing, sweet character, funny episodes. I highly recommend if you just feel like throwing on just a nothing goofy time show.
I also have a nothing goofy time show, which I feel like is important because we have some really great, well acted shows that have come out this past year. The Bear premiered last night. Since I live on the West Coast, I was lucky enough to get it at a regular time, 9 p.m., and watched half of it, and ended up staying up a little too late on a school night. But wow, if you haven't seen season 1, I watched it all on a plane ride. It was a year from here to Japan, so it only took up maybe a quarter of the. But I even on a tiny screen, I was like so enraptured in like the acting, and it's so well casted. And this second season, they are just letting everyone that we're introduced to just shine. They're getting their own episodes. They're bringing in amazing directors, little known directors, and stuff like that. I've been really enjoying that. I think it's like the show Succession. A lot of people I think should be nominated for awards at the end of the year. Sean, I'm sorry. I know that you are a fan of Succession, so
who isn't?
But in a show of all this, in a sea of all of these prestige programming, that sadly, or not so sadly, because we support the writer's strike, is going to be few and far between in coming seasons, in like TV seasons. So we're going to be getting a lot more reality television. And there's a new reality TV show that came out this summer that is absolutely ridiculous. It's called Stars on Mars. I don't know if you guys have seen previews for this absolutely ridiculous, hilarious concept, but essentially what it is it's Celebrity Big Brother, except the theme of you are trapped on Mars in a US like a government building, and all of the competitions that they have to do are themed around taking care of their Mars enclosure. So they always got to put on these big ass spacesuits and walk outside and do these hilarious ass challenges. Let me just read you the cast, because the cast is what makes up these things. We got Ariel Winter from Modern Family, Tom Schwartz from Scandival. We've got Christopher Mintz-Plasse, McLovin himself, Natasha Leggero, William Shatner is the host, of course, Tallulah Willis, Tinashe, Ronda Rousey, Adam Rippon. We got Richard Sherman and Marshawn Lynch from the Legion of Boom, the Seahawks,
Is
as
is
well as Portia
is that
Williams.
is that Richard Sherman, the NFL player, or the songwriter who wrote the score to Mary Poppins?
Sherman, the guy who burned down the South.
Okay, yeah, the secret
Um,
third Sherman.
Yeah, Secret Third Sherman, which all hilarious, just all hilarious to stick in a little. The it's really really well put together. It's really cheesy and silly, and these guys are absolute idiots. Lance Armstrong as well is participating in
Oh.
this, and everybody thought that he went to space when he got there. They're like, "Oh my God, we have an actual astronaut playing. We're so gonna lose to this guy." So it's like that. They're all fucking idiots, and that's the
He's
best
an
part.
Armstrong.
What's the conceit? Like, what do you mean getting voted off? Is it not like a team
So,
effort, or is there
well,
they have like
Yeah, every week they elect a mission commander who's like the guy in charge of like giving out all the ways that you have to take care. Like there's a whole plant section where they grow their own food. There's a whole bunch of stuff, and then there is an event happens. And the last one, the place caught on fire, so they all had to put on their spacesuits and go outside and patch up the outside of their enclosure and go in there and scoop out human excrement from their sewage to replant everything. It wasn't real human excrement. It was just
Cowards.
brown pudding with like corn in it, which is hilarious. And they had Natasha Leggero actually like vomiting, like having to like do it. But if at the end of the competition, whatever, they decide who was the least mission critical, and they go home. So.
Have they?
There's 3 episodes in. The first 2 episodes are kind of like, haha, look at these stupid idiots. They're doing funny stuff. The third episode, they've been in there long enough that they're starting to get annoyed with each other, and they're starting to actually like play a social game. So it's gonna be fun. There's really not gonna be a lot going on television-wise moving forward.
Is it shot in like the Sonoran Desert or something? Like
I think so. It's some desert somewhere. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I love Arizona is if you go far enough out and like hiking and stuff, it looks like Mars. It's pretty much that. They keep up the conceit of like, oh, we're on Mars to be silly, but somewhere.
how is
down here.
someone sent home?
They so everybody comes back into the decontamination chamber in their suits.
Yeah.
And one by one, the mission leader decides who gets to come in until one person has to turn around and go get picked up by a lunar rover and driven away.
Okay.
They should get shot from the airlock.
They should. They pretty
I
much.
think
do
for season 2 they should add famous NASA celebrity Curiosity. I think that would be interesting.
For the last episode, they brought in one of those freaking Boston Dynamics dogs as a companion. So I guarantee you they probably would bring in a rover at some point.
It seems like a waste not to have an imposter. I'm just looking at the format of this show of celebrities.
Well, Lance Armstrong's there. Probably one of the bigger imposters that have ever been in the
famous imposter.
He was an imposter.
But an imposter
he impersonated someone who played fairly.
Yeah, pretty sus.
You said this is on Fox, Tyler?
Yeah, it's on Fox.
Yeah, I'll try it out. That sounds like a fun time.
Fox has Stars on Mars, and I'm not even kidding, 3 different Gordon Ramsay shows going on right now. They got Gordon Ramsay MasterChef, and then they gave him a show called Gordon Ramsay Food Stars, which is like The Apprentice. It is the stupidest thing. I tried it. They had Mr. Beast on as like an expert, and I was like, this one's not for me. Sorry, Gordon.
Jimmy knows. Yeah, I'm kind of in a drought because I'm coming to accept that my favorite one-off reality show from last year, Claim to Fame, likely isn't coming back. So I'll have to latch on to that.
Is that the one?
No, I mean, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was saying you never know because if you look at like CBS's fall schedule, you get 2 hours of Big Brother a night. They upped Survivor to an hour and a half an episode. Like all the networks are solely running reality TV, so it might come back. It's not a part of the WGA.
Yeah, I guess not. Damn. I want to get a new Kid Nation. I think we should try that again.
Agreed.
Kid Nation on Mars.
There we go.
Hey, I know today's Gen Z or whatever's after Gen Z can do tasks in space. I've watched them on stream. Speaking of the desert, real quick, King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard reached the singularity last week, and they made an album about lizards and wizards, something they have previously danced around and teased like it was, the Avengers Assemble line or something like that. They got close to it before. They've never gone full lizard and wizard, and on their new album, which is called, that's not what it's called, Petro-Draconic Apocalypse, semicolon, or Dawn of Eternal Night, an annihilation of planet Earth in the beginning of merciless damnation. Which I'm sure everyone was going to be called that.
Oh yeah.
It's their return to metal, unlike their last very thrash metal outlet, Infest the Rat's Nest. Very similar themes, but this is a lot more like prog stoner metal. And it's, in my opinion, one of their best albums. It's so good. It's on Bandcamp right now. You can listen to it. It's on Spotify. You can buy it for $10 Australian right now on Bandcamp, which is less than $10 US. I've learned.
It's like $7.
It's like a
Yeah.
halfpenny.
Yeah. It's they use dollar coins. It's pocket change. So yeah, check it out. They're touring with these songs right now. They're really fun. Their shortest one's 4 minutes long, so you get your money's worth. Some incredible backing vocals on this album. Supercell and Converge into Witchcraft. Just never before have they sounded like a mural painted on the side of a van as much as this. They 100% sound like a shitty matte painting of a wizard. And all for the better. This album rules, and there's a theory that there's going to be a follow-up to this album out next, just based on some hints in the artwork and stuff and things where it looks like it bleeds over. So check this one out if you like music.
It's a blast. You know, I got a cosign. It's a fucking hoot. I've been calling it Petro-Draconic or PDA. It's good God. It's you can tell these boys have been listening to Tool. It is proggy as hell. It sounds a lot like Gaia and Predator X from Omnium Gatherum. It is a hell of a time. I'm excited. I've got to listen to it more. I've got to give it some more time, but I have really enjoyed what I've heard so far, and I'm excited for the vinyl exclusive track when the record comes in, and I'm excited to see whatever the companion album is, because I've gone full tinfoil hat. I think it's coming out maybe September, October this year, and it's gonna be a big old synth wave album.
There's a vinyl exclusive track by Leah Senior, my favorite, coming out. She does the last half of Murder of the Universe, or the first half of Murder of the Universe. The weird narration. Yeah, I love when they just have a spooky sounding girl read a short story over their music.
Maybe we'll have some characters coming back. We'll see. I'll be curious to see if our boy Motion and Art on YouTube comes out with a new video about how this plays into the Gizverse, because they have seemed to kind of separated themselves from the Gizverse, but this one might go all the way back in.
The Gizverse is real.
My favorite multiverse.
Truly.
King Rizzard and the Lizard Dillards.
All right. The show and or tell this week. There's some content that I've found on TikTok. And it's very much, I can absolutely lose hours and hours and hours when this guy comes up on my For You page. Some people call him a hero. Some people call him a vigilante who should be brought to justice. I am, of course, talking about Agent Sebastian of the Cart Narcs. For those of you who don't know, the Cart Narcs is a guy named Sebastian. He's a grown man. He sounds like a teenager. He's got a very high voice. He was a Los Angeles radio host. who did a segment where he wore a body cam and he went out to like the local Target, and whenever someone left their cart not in the cart corral, he would roll up on them and put a magnet on their cart, not a sticker, a magnet, easily removable, that says "I'm a lazy bones." And people lose their damn minds at this guy. People go fair. People have threatened on multiple occasions to kill him. He wears a bulletproof vest because he has to, and he has his little air traffic controller wavy stick, and he's just the biggest dork. And I love this guy. He is the closest we have to like Bugs Bunny as a person in terms of just totally in his own world while someone is just steam out of their ears about to commit vehicular manslaughter at him. And the funniest part is he has zero authority. He is not an officer of the law. He is not an officer. He has no parking boot. At any given point, these people could just go home, and they stay and yell at this man who is just getting more and more. So he walks up to them. He does this little siren. He goes, whoop, 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 whoop. Cars won't go there. And usually people are like, "Oh, I'm sorry." And he's like, "So you're going to put it back?" And people are like, "No." And he's like, "Well, why not?" And they're like, "Well, they pay people to do that." And he's like, "Well, that's not an excuse. You can put your cart back." And from there it escalates because people always go, "Never mind." They close the door, they pull out, and Agent Sebastian has these little PTA magnets that just say like "I'm a lazy bones," and he puts them on their car. At which point people lose their minds and get out. People claim that he assaulted them by touching their car, in which case he has the genius comeback of "It's legal to touch your car," and he just touches their car. When they take the magnet off, he goes, "Oh, you've dropped your magnet," and puts a second one on, and he'll do that as many times as possible. One of my favorite moves is when they pull away, he'll do what's called the fake out, where he acts like he puts a magnet on their car, and when they get out of the car to take it off, he goes, "You fell for the fake out," which doesn't help anything, but just makes these people so mad. And then after they fall for the fake out, he actually puts the magnet on their car because he's like, no one gets out of their car after they've fallen for the fake outs. Sometimes he has a big flag on a suction cup that he puts on their hood. And people are like, sometimes people in the parking lot are like, "Hey, leave him alone." And he's like, "Well, no, he left his cart out." And one lady at a Walmart, she left her cart in the handicap unload area. And that's the thing he always gets you on. It's like he'll let you go on some minor things, but he's like, "If you're in the accessible areas, I'm coming down hard on you." And she was like, "I have to park here." And he goes, "Do you have lazy bones-itis?" And she maces him.
Oh shit! Holy shit!
It is absolutely like and all of these people, just their faces on the internet forever as being just a lazy bones. And I want to ask you guys, first of all, go look up cart narcs. You will lose hours and hours of your night at people getting so mad at it's just a guy being really. He doesn't even curse. He just is like, "Oh, lazy bones," or like "litter bug," and people get so mad at that. What's your guys' take on the cart narc? Is he a hero? Is he a menace? Should he be brought to justice? Is he making everyone's lives worse?
I think he is a hero. As someone, I always put my cart either in the cart corral, or I'll make the little bonus trip to put it right back in the cart gathering room, wherever that's called.
Walk it back up.
Yeah, I'll walk it back up because sometimes the weather's nice. But I think he's great. I think his tone is fantastic. I like the term lazy bones. I like the way he deals with people. For someone that has a lot of anxiety as it comes to like confrontation and dealing with angry people or angry strangers, it's like exposure therapy to me, to just be like, he handles it just fine. Sure, he might get maced once in a while, but like he's doing okay, and that helps a lot to watch. But I can only handle so much. It's like car crash videos. I start to get really
I can only watch an hour of car crashes before I black out.
Yeah.
Tyler, what do you think?
I think he's a vigilante. You know, I think it
Oh.
needs to be a case by case basis here. 100% people parking or leaving their carts in like the handicapped area, not okay. Honestly, leaving your cart anywhere except the place you need to put it back, not okay. Definitely go for the Karens. Some people are just having a bad day, and I think sometimes they get caught in the crossfire. Um, but hey, you know
I
what?
can see that.
You know what?
There's an easy fix, and it's put your card back. It's
Yeah. I don't know about y'all. I think about it when I go to park in like Target or Publix. I park close to the car corral. I purposely park like a space or two next to
yeah.
it, so I'd be like, you just drop it off right there.
I'm the opposite because I've seen some people shoot their cart from halfway across the parking lot. I don't want my car to be a victim there.
Well, that's the kind of thing that Agent Sebastian's trying to enforce is responsible cart
Sure.
disposal.
We need more Agent Sebastians.
And there are more Agent Sebastians. There are Narcoteers who are satellite cart narcs who upload their videos to his channel too. And one of them was at my Target recently because I was watching the video
Ooh.
and I was like, I know that parking lot. That's my Target. And one of the Narcoteers was posted up there.
Amazing.
Yeah.
No, here's I've got two follow-up questions for y'all. We're gonna figure out who we are as people finally on this show. One, I guess we've already answered it. We are the type of people who put our cards back.
Yes.
Oh, 100%.
Okay. Second, I think I forgot it. Oh no! When you leave, when was the last time you rode the cart out of the store?
Like in the cart or on the back axle?
Like you ride it on the you're going to your car and you just like, do you ever like hop back up on the back axle and just ride it for a little
Every
bit?
time.
Every time?
Yes, it's
Tyler,
fun
what about
every
you?
time.
I'm a no. I'm a no go.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I kind of go day to day, but I've always being told bullshit by producer Peyton. Yeah, she's
Sean wishes he was a cart rider, but we all know he's a cart pusher.
I know that's what she's saying. I ride it, like I hop up on that thing. And I
It's fun. If you're going downhill, it's like, why should I expend energy when I have the cart?
and I like to think, someone's gonna see me and they're gonna be 65, 70 years old, and they're gonna be like, I wish I miss having that young joy.
I miss
I
hips.
aspire that I could buy a lovely card for their wife while they're inside, or flowers or some shit. I'm taking it too deep. No one's ever done that, but it's nice to think about.
Yeah, it's fun. I also like pushing the cart and getting it like a good like 8 inches in front of me, and then acting like I'm pushing it with my mind. If it's like just keep rolling, just walking behind it, arms at my side, cart on auto roll, just like, yeah, I'm Professor Xavier. Just I guess he doesn't walk behind the cart, but
I like picking up the cart and putting it above my head to show everyone in the grocery store how strong I am. I just walk around with the grocery cart just above my head. I'm like, I don't need these wheels.
I put my basket on my head.
our Kroger has an escalator because the parking deck is below the Kroger and the Kroger is above the parking deck, and there was one of those like cart escalators that you put your cart in and it lowers it down alongside you as you go to your car. And I guess the people of Atlanta couldn't handle that because they have basically paved it over. They have put like a metal encasing over it. It's like a big X. Just like, no, I don't.
Fucking Chernobyl it.
I don't know what happened, but they've encased it in concrete so that no one can dig up the cart escalator.
Oh man.
Never again. What are some jobs that need a narcoteer though? Like what are some things that you're annoyed by that you're like, man, I wish I had an Agent Sebastian for this.
I think similar to maybe narcoteers can go in there. I think in a grocery store we need a grocery aisle Moses. I get so tired of going down the aisle and there's someone blocking the entire freaking aisle looking at all the cereals or something. It's like, come on. All of these people we have a social contract, right? When we go out in public, we bathe. We're not offensive, like smelling. We, be nice to people, be courteous to people. I think we need more people to just like crack the whip on folks who are not following the social contract. Similarly, a conversation condor. You know, when I'm out walking my dog, it's 105 degrees. I don't want to stop and talk to some old lady. I want to be able to blow a whistle and a condor come up, pick her up, put her down in a safe space.
The more humane thing would be to exfiltrate yourself from the hot zone, but you're just
No,
just
that's the
sicking
thing,
a
is
bird
I'm
on
my-
people.
I'm on my walk
Oh,
with my
no.
dog. We have a specific route that we go on. If
Yeah.
someone's going to come and block me from my route, I shouldn't be the one who needs to avert my route. They shouldn't have blocked me to begin with.
Yeah. And every time you can act like, oh no, they got taken away by a bird.
No, I think everyone will understand the conversation.
It's the condor.
Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
You get condored, you think about it. You think about it
Yeah,
for a while.
true.
It's going to get you to learn. Just like getting a magnet stuck on your car.
I think people. I live on a walking path that a lot of people take, and people walk on it. They'll go out with their whole family of like 10 people, and they'll walk 10 across at death row pace. And that's just not how you do things with one single walking path. The people will walk and they'll stand in the other. There's clearly 2 lanes. People do not stay to the right. And I think there do need to be like lifeguards for busy sidewalks being like, hey, stay to the right, or like, hey, watch out, because you're taking up the whole walking path. And people on bikes, people on skateboards, you're stepping out in front of them. You're usually drunk. The other one's murder. I think we need to have someone really come down on that.
I'm trying to think of a humane way to talk about this. But I really hate them. They fill me with rage, and I'm trying to think. Cyclists. We got to do something about cyclists.
Yeah.
Maybe keep the bike lanes. I don't know. I know I'm the problem. I'm the one driving the car, but you're holding up so much traffic, man. Like I've long dreamt of a bumper sticker that's just like, hey, like not a hey cyclist, but hey man, the Tour de France is that way. And it's just an airplane, whatever. But just
That's
like,
great. That's a very dad joke.
Yeah, because it's just like
Sean's climbing the wife guy ladder.
they fill me with such rage. I'm already, dude. I'm higher than anyone. I've got to be. In any case, I just like put them on ellipticals. I don't know. The cyclists have to. That's not. There's no one that can police the cyclists.
It should be illegal to ride a bicycle when the sun's out.
Just like make it legal to let them ride on the sidewalks again. I think that's perfectly fine.
Or build
Give
up.
them a little bell.
No,
Good.
as someone who lived in Los Angeles and also takes walks here,
Oh.
I don't want them on the sidewalk.
Could we build one of those
Alright,
big balls that like the motorcycles go around in the circus, and just the cyclists can get in there
Yeah.
and go around like a hamster wheel?
They can do their training there,
Yeah. Takes up no room, small footprint.
or just put them out on like the back roads. Just like, okay, yeah, clearly no one takes these roads.
You get neighborhood
there.
streets.
Yeah, you get neighborhood streets. Like everyone's already going 15 miles an hour there, and
You-
they get hilly. Don't go out on the city streets when I'm trying to get a COVID test real quick before the place closes, and you just pedaling along. Get out of here. That's not really answering
Damn,
the question.
Sean memorized all 3 of those bikers, like he knows their
I-
faces.
Every time I see a cyclist, I'm like, this has now become a problem for me, and they fill me with rage.
Similar to this one, not just bikers, but just people in general on the road who get on your nerves. Have you guys ever heard of, or do you guys remember Upgrade from Ben 10?
No.
No.
Upgrade from Ben 10. Okay, you'll recognize him when you see a picture. He's an amorphous blob that's composed of kind of like liquefied, like little nanopods, and he can control cars. He can control any sort of technology, maybe even bikes. Here, everybody needs a little upgrade in their car as soon as they make one error. If they accidentally cut someone off, if they don't zipper merge getting onto the highway, you lost it. Upgrade's taken over. He's going to drive you the rest of the way. Like there has to be like everybody has a button in their car, and if they're like that person's being a fucking idiot, you press the button. Upgrade takes over, gets them over to the right lane that they need to be in, whatever it is. I'm just sick and tired of people on the road.
That's
What-
pretty smart.
Why wouldn't Upgrade always drive all the cars?
Because I think people like driving cars. I think people should
Yeah.
get the benefit of the doubt.
We get a chance.
Maybe if you fuck up 3 times in a week, upgrade drives you the rest of the week.
I
But
gotta blow in a tube so upgrade doesn't take the wheel.
hey, maybe.
I like upgrade. That's a good idea. I think that's where we're headed.
I hope so.
But it's probably generations away.
We just need to get Omnitrix.
Yeah.
I've been
No one
saying
here
this.
watched Ben 10. Am I the only person here who watched?
That's a
Ben 10?
show for little brothers.
Oh come on, guys. We're talking about fucking Clarence over here, and you haven't seen Ben 10, which was a children's show when we were children.
I wasn't a child. I was in high school.
Yeah.
Okay. You weren't 30.
But you're right. I am talking about. But I don't like Clarence. Whatever.
Clarence transcends children.
It does. It doesn't. It doesn't at all. But no, I didn't watch Ben 10. Clarence wasn't made to sell toys. Ben 10 was. That's
Good
the
toys. You were missing
Good
out.
toys. Fun toys. Nothing against the toys. I'm just saying. That one is, I'm in the 5th grade. This is sick. Clarence is like, I'm 31 and trying to figure shit out. This is great.
I understand. Ben 10's not profound like Clarence.
You've got to have a pretty high IQ to understand Clarence. Ben 10's a movie. Clarence is a film.
It did seem like a fun show. I liked it. That's the thing, is that it's one of those shows that it's like, if I were in the 4th grade, that would have been it, man. Either way.
That would have been it. And this is it. Because we're at our hour. And now it's time to tuck us back into bed until next time. We need like a good night song like Bear in the Big Blue House had. That's a show I watch
Time
still.
for upgrade to put us down.
Time to upgrade to give us that
Upgrade, take
lobotomy. Upgrade. Put my pee back in.
Upgrade. Let me try one more time.
Thanks for tuning in to our show and our stream and our whatever you're watching this on. Podcast player, Crystal Radio. I don't know. I've been Will. You can find me at Will from Radish because I am from Radish.
I'm Sean. You can also find me at Sean from Radish because I am from Radish. And yep, that's all. Sean and Barry on Letterboxd. Everywhere else.
Tyler from Radish. I'm from my mom, but my mom's a Radish, so that would make sense.
Oh, weird. Hey, none of us wanted to say it. I'm glad that I'm glad you could joke about it because it's not really ours to bring up.
People ask where we got the name for the show, and we just like
Tyler's mom.
Tyler's.
If you
literally
believe
the
it,
only
he
person
was
I know from a Radish.
He was born from a Radish.
Like
Tyler's
McDuff.
like a little boy he's a little boy from a Tommy DePaula storybook.
Yes.
His mother's
That's
a
right.
vegetable.
Will, I'm the only man who can kill Macbeth.
We've always said that too. Any other business before we conclude?
Put your carts back.
Put your carts
If you
back.
can, if you want to, ride them into the parking lot. It's a nice time.
From all of us here at Radish, the tribe has spoken. Goodbye.